create a token that's a copy of a creature. Now we'll make a copy of this regent. It'll enter. We'll bounce Chico back to our hand. We'll hit our opponent for 12. And then we will play this back down and then Lightning Helix our opponent for a quick win here. Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing some more Jeskai control, and this deck has a lot of cool things in it that allow us to make a lot of combat tricks and do a lot of neat stuff that your opponent's not necessarily going to be ready for. And a lot of that revolves around a couple of cards that we'll kind of go over immediately with 3 steps ahead and Parting Gust. The thing with these 2 cards that is really nice is being able to flicker a River Regent or a Chico to kind of replay them with the Parting Gust. Same with a Biza if it's valuable in that matchup. Sometimes you play Biza, then you flicker it again after maybe you block, and then it re-enters on their end step, gains you 4 more life, maybe makes more tokens and draws more cards. And then there's a situation with 3 steps ahead in which we make a copy of the River Regent on our opponent's end step as they tried to close out the game, and we just counter a spell and then make a copy of this, and then we end up just one-shotting our opponent from there. So it's very cool. But to break down the deck very quickly so we can get right into the games, we have Get Lost for removal, Lightning Helix for removal, Parting Gust can act as removal with giving them a fish. Oftentimes that is worth it, especially if it's like a slasher or something. I will definitely deal with a 1/1 fish before absolutely having to answer a slasher multiple times throughout the game. But we are then down on counter spells and are a bit more board state interactive, where we are 2-3 steps ahead that oftentimes won't even be used as a counter spell. It might be used as a copy effect. And 2 exhale. Discard. 2 of them. 2 of this card. Just to kind of counter and stagger our opponent and protect it. As you'll see, one of the games we decide that we're just going to be the aggressive control deck and use these counter spells as stagger effects to make sure our Biza closes out the game. But other than that, the Rolling Dragonstorm, a weird card that you'd be playing in control, but it actually generates a ton of value in this deck, especially whenever you get to those turns where you get to play a Chico down and pick this back up. Your card engine just picks up dramatically, but you don't want to really play any more than that, because once you have one, that's roughly all you need to be picking back up and replaying over and over again. Obviously sided with stock ups. And then for board wipes, Temple Lockdown, Day of Judgment, a split up. Flankers are in here to obviously interact with the graveyard decks. If you don't have any main board graveyard hate, you just, it's like not playing temporary lockdowns. If you're playing a control deck, you have to be playing these to some capacity or some form of graveyard hate. Obviously we cut to Rest in Peace because it was a bit of a non-bow with Chico. By a bit, I mean a lot. We argued to play Soul Guide and Lantern potentially, but I think Flanker allows us against other control matchups to have a flash hate, like a flash creature that they have to deal with. Kind of interacts as Brazen Borrower did in the past, where it's good to bounce stuff. But against the control matchups, you just flash it in. You have a 3/1 kind of life deleter, if you would. But other than that, we have 2 Bizas, 4 Chicos, and 2 River Regents on 26 lands. And the 2 important lands being the Village and the Quarry Mountain Monastery. So against matchups that might have counter spells, we have a way to make sure our spells resolve. And against matchups where we just want to get as many cards in our hand over and over, we have the Quarry Mountain Monastery to make sure we get those cards. So with that said, if y'all enjoy the content, please consider subscribing. It truly helps out the channel a ton. And let's go game. I don't have the 3rd land, but I think that's okay. Probably mono black, if I had to guess. We have to let that go because we need to find the land. Not necessarily that valuable in our hand currently either. 2 landers with about 3 or 4 looks on 26 lands is pretty fine to keep. So we do. Thankfully we find it. Maybe a Deep Cavern Bat comes in or something, and Helix will just be good. If it's a slasher, I'm obviously just gonna hit it with a counter spell. Hit 0. In this match, it's weird, especially now that I don't have counter spells, because Helix probably just isn't good enough on its own. So we're gonna barrel this stock up. No lands in this pile. Okay. Exile target non-token creature. The land's also going to be a problem if they ever plan on investing in that land, which is tough. Temporary Lockdown's bad. Helix is okay. I think I'm going to take Counterspell and Gust, probably. 3 steps ahead isn't bad, but if we do miss a land draw, which we really shouldn't after 5 looks, no lands in that pile, like the likelihood of hitting a land in these next 2 draws is pretty high. I guess also I have the Regent, so I shouldn't be too worried. Yeah. Thankfully, they don't have the land to start activating their Fountain Point. Well, now they do, I guess. It'll be a decision to see what exactly list our opponent's on. Definitely barreling this. We have to hit our lands. We want to be able to keep up with like multiple fountain ports. Get Lost is fine. Gus is probably whatever because only creature. Get Lost can hit about everything. We are well over hand size here. Could just go with flanker, right? But I'd rather not discard my hands. Yeah, I think every point of value here is going to be important. I mean, I could just barrel Lightning Helix at them whenever, or their token whenever they make it. We'll put a 1 creature. I'm just going to scry 2. This is where like the Shiko and the Helixes will actually add up over time, especially if Unholy Annex comes in to help us. Every 2 damage they take off on Unholy Annex because we do obviously have the removal and stuff. They have Judgment, not awful. They have a lockdown, which kind of covers Day of Judgment and the lands, whatever, because I now have 2 more lands. So with this, we'll just pass. I assume a token's being made here, and then maybe they're going to look to sacrifice it, maybe even make a treasure. Their treasure is 4 mana, right? Yeah. And it also taps the land. Sure. Definitely don't want to fight over that. If a Liliana resolves, they'll get the plus, and then I'll have to get lost it, and it'll just be a whole thing with it. 3 fountain ports. Well, kind of why you don't play the demolition fields and stuff right now anyway. Do I want to counter that, or do I just want to get lost at? I think I just want to get lost it. Or maybe did I use my split? I don't know. I want to get lost this. Just hold this. Well, I guess that was probably the best value I could have got off the exile. Maybe I should have just committed and taken the split up value, because split up's going to be weird. Yeah, because with Unholy Annex here, they technically get through my exile. Or exhale. You need to find a good value card here eventually, though. And we're just running into a pocket of lands. Kind of the fear after the stock up that we had, that we missed 5, then we missed on the 6, that the next pile is going to be lands. Which is all fine to an extent. Don't really like the fact that they're going to be able to use these map tokens, but can't really do anything about that. I could fight for it. Honestly, I think their better option here, if this is what they wanted to do, was probably to just pop these for value. Yeah, cut down's pretty good. Flying, obviously. It's pretty bad for this matchup. Most likely going to respond by sacking this. But at least that, like, if this is a land on top, they would get to draw it, and then they could sacrifice in response. Which would definitely punish us. Really need to find Eco, probably. Okay, never mind. Update. We found it. We're in. We're going to have to get stock. We're going to have to find threats like Biza and stuff that can constantly make value. So we grab stock up here. We do have counterspell to protect our Shiko here at some point. I will grab another one. This doesn't matter, but the rolling Dragonstorm probably will start mattering. This is a situation where, like, playing the Shikos and stuff, that our rolling Dragonstorm is going to add up overall. Do we protect Shiko now that we found another one? I'm not sure. I feel like the answer to our question is no. I can't answer other things, so we just let it resolve. I should always read this, because sometimes your opponent clicks wrong, and then you just let it resolve because they clicked the wrong mode. One of the annoying things about Shieldred's Edict is, like, as soon as you click a mode, it's like, okay, resolved. Instead of being like, you sure about that? Your opponent actively doesn't control a token. The Liliana here, we're definitely going to counter. Counter unless they pay 4. We show them in the Chico. And there's a Biza. If we play land and play Biza, we'll have less cards in hand than them. Biza's a good threat in general. And I don't necessarily have the best card of all time in my graveyard to be casting. Another Shiko. I think we will go ahead and barrel this for now. Take a look. Well, one of those can go. I didn't actually look or do the math to see which one would be best, but we're representing counter spells. Will our opponent jam? Probably, but we'll see. Best part about Biza is an Archfiend does not threaten us really. Gildred's fine. To an extent. Gildred's okay. Obviously the draw sucks and we lose life. And that auto resolves, so that should give them some information that we're just holding air. Yeah, and they take that risk. I don't want to click my character, thank you. I guess we're just on the Shiko get lost plan, right? Then we can evaluate what our top card is. Sure. Helix is okay. Again, we already decided that Helix is probably one of the ways that we're going to have to win this game. Go to Exile and give them a fish, but that'd be better. Because giving them a fish doesn't give them 2 maps to sack to their Fountain Port. Yeah, I actually like that more. I was saying, can I not give a gift? If I can't give a gift, I don't want to do this. But they get a fish, kind of whatever. Then we'll go ahead and draw these top 2 cards. And then we'll get rid of one of these temporary lockdowns. And now we have like another good threat. The thing is, it's weird because we almost want them to resolve an Annex because the Annex would do damage over time. And unless they play a demon or have a Shieldred in play, it's actually going to help our game plan when it comes to lightning helixing them to death. Sure. Here comes a cut down, maybe. Gotta pay attention to our dab. I don't know about that one, Chief. Get it, but I don't know about it. So weird because like the toughness matters when it comes to like a slick shot, I guess. This makes way more sense because of slick shot, I suppose. They only have this, which they can sacrifice just to draw a card. Do need to find something for this though. That will be hard for us to answer. Although I guess if they play it, I can always play this, put it back in their hand. Dude, can I stop drawing temporary lockdown? Is there anything good in here? Do I just Shiko Helix my opponent? I guess so, because then I get to pick up this Dragon Storm and get rid of these lockdowns at this point. Helix. Also, using the card from earlier means we do have Get Lost available to pop the Virtue, if it comes to that. I say we've dug so many more cards than our opponent that it's not even funny. It's just finding the relevant cards has been so hard. There's no point in barreling the stock up now. We're not going to be able to hold or represent anything. So it's kind of like we just wait and pretend like we have something here that they might play around. All 4 Fountain Ports in the top 20, huh? This would only be annoying if I was actually playing like Demo Field and stuff. That's fine. Sure. I think I am going to go ahead and barrel this Helix because now Helix drops them to 15. This drops them to 11. And there's a hard counter spell that we will be able to cast. We play this. This will get picked up. Pick this up. Can't bounce that. I guess there's like a world where I'm supposed to bounce a Shiko to my hand. But on to 11. Fast. Now we have a hard counter spell available. And I have lethal in theory. Actually, I have even a cooler play. I can actually make a copy of the River Regent. Because River Regent is just an ETB. So with that, I'm fine. Because they keep messing up their mana, so now they don't have a black source. So I can counter for 3. Or I can do this. Create a token that's a copy of a creature. Now we'll make a copy of this Regent. It'll enter. We'll bounce Shiko back to our hand. We'll hit our opponent for 12. And then we will play this back down and then Lightning Helix our opponent for a quick win here. Nothing really they can do about it now. It's just a matter of time. An interesting way to use 3 steps ahead instead of using it as a counter spell. So, like we said, we're going to move to combat. Our opponent will let us. We'll hit for 12. Play a Shiko. And then we will hit them with the lightning helix. Go. Don't misclick, smile. Or they don't even let me. So, very cool. We take away a game there in a very fun and kind of complicated way, but we do it. Interesting hand and dilemma we have, but I will keep. I have 3 spells at 2 mana, 1 draws 2, and 1 helps recover, and then Chico for the latter half of the game. Kind of have all facets of the game currently in our hand. Depending what our opponent's on, blue, black, maybe duress is coming. Either. Take your choice. Take a look at my wares. Make your decision. Get lost is interesting. So I'll keep it. Maybe they have a planeswalker that they would like to protect later. We'll reveal a little more information to them. And I'll keep taking lands. I could have played this and then surveilled, but... Oh, they missed land drop. Oh no, Mr. Opponent. I'm going to give them any value because they might be sitting on the 2 mana counterspell with the kick thing or whatever it's called. And I'm not going to relinquish that opportunity. And I have a counterspell for here, so I will do this one because I need to find lands and no stick there, so the counterspell might not be there. Split up can go for now. We'll pass. Our opponent full scale missing lands and stuff. Too bad we're not a deck that can punish them, but they could just have a ton of creature removal. Just unable to really do it. Now they have to discard the hand size if they have nothing else. 2 lands and duress. Get it. I mean, we kind of did the same thing essentially. Discard your kids. What do you got over there? Oculus. Okay. That was not quite what I was expecting, to say the least. Stock up. Dig for some stuff here. Visa's probably fine, and we'll take the land that makes my stuff uncounterable. Then we'll pass. And then we have a decision to make. If they reanimate this, we can attempt to counter. But they might have a way to fight back. Or we just get lost it. Well, I mean, we're going to fight over this. And they already know about this, so I'll just show it anyway. Doesn't really matter. Right? Because they already know. So this enters untapped. It could have removal in hand, but I'm going to play a Visa, draw up a card. Pause here. I don't know what that would be. Maybe a bounce spell? What was the pause about? That resolves. Think I have to go interesting spot. Maybe I just go for get lost, and if they counter it, then I get to Shiko and get lost it again, so it doesn't really matter, right? But at least this way I get to remove this off from the battlefield, and then we get the full reset here. Maybe I should have waited till end step, but I'm fine if they reanimate it for a 3rd time, because then when... Yeah, okay. That's okay. So now I get to reanimate it for a 3rd time, like we said, but then I get to go right into this here, and then play the get lost again. And then if they have a 4th removal spell, then I don't know. I could just split up and ruin everything, I guess, but I'm not gonna do that. I could have attacked with Biza, see if they did anything, but I mean, I highly doubt that was going to be the case. And then I guess we attack. And I am going to fire off the Dragonstorm, because if I'm not holding up anything or representing anything, I mean, yeah, I'm not even representing that. I might as well just Dragonstorm here. Look for answers. And get rid of this basic. Both these lands enter on tap, so it's just strictly better. 5 mana. Reanimator deck has used 4 copies and no one left behind. Caress. Fine card. Pretty good to leave there so you can constantly like put counters on this, but it seems like that's not their fancy right now. Temporary lockdown can still absorb it, so we're okay there. But what will they do? Their main interaction is, I mean, I guess they have a 3 steps ahead, right? Okay. If you want to attack me, I'll block. Temporary lockdown also exiles their token if you're not sure. Hey, Oculus. You probably should keep that one on top so you can hard cast it. So they make an 8/8 here. This is 3 mana, so it won't go under lockdown, and the 4 is relevant, right? So I should just take this trade. Yes. Then we can go land to a lockdown into a 3 steps ahead. Yeah, and then we'll just crack our opponent for 4. We're also getting ourselves close to something like a Helix being lethal. Also, Spell Pierce doesn't get us here, or the other counter unless I pay 2, and unless they play a land, which they have been missing, so this Oculus on top should technically mean they don't have a land in hand. I don't think there was another situation where they drew, because this got flipped, so they wouldn't have drawn off it. So they haven't drawn any extra cards, so any top deck we know for a fact that they don't have a land for. We're not going to overpay for this. Actually, no, we can't, because I didn't leave up an extra blue. We could have made our 3 steps ahead uncounterable, which would have been nice. And I'm going to start trying to really close the door here. And that puts us so close. With that said, I'm just going to wait, I think. I don't know. You never know with a deck like this when it comes to best of 1. For some random reason, they just play a board wipe, and then I lose kind of all my value here. But another Shiko plus Lightning Helix will get it done. If Biza just lives, that gets it done. It's a lot that just kind of answers the call. There could be like a bounce effect. Yeah, there's just nothing there. Oh, this is definitely a tough hand that we have to mulligan, because it does literally nothing. But we'll keep this and throw Shiko in the bottom. Hey, red. Red players do apparently exist. Do I keep this? Or do I go for land? I guess I keep it. We might get to this. And we also have a Dragonstorm. Okay. Maybe something a little bit different. I'll hold up my counter spell to counter Urbrass Forge, Caretaker's Talent, a Miss Landra. Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Ah, yes. Play control. You must play against control matchups. I don't even think I want this to resolve. I think I want to use my mana efficiently here. Yep. Use my mana efficiently. We have a get lost for a Caretaker's Talent too, so it's like we don't really care that much for it. Right? They can like establish it. The only real I would say the only real problem is Urbrass Forge, but my clock is technically faster. Block. Another land hit. That means I kind of don't budge, I believe. Play the Dragonstorm, though. Another counter spell. The Gust probably does nothing here. This counter spell is huge, especially considering we have a dragon in hand. And the land's also huge because we can make them pick this Urbrass Forge up. And we're definitely kind of the... Use our counter spells to stagger our opponent out of the game until our 4/5 finds lethal, especially considering temporary lockdown's probably a card that's in hand. 2 can hit all day. Nothing from our opponent. Very awesome. Day of Judgment is a card that they could play, so I don't necessarily want to overcommit here until I can maybe play this and then do something else. Maybe we'll find a Shiko here. They might have a get lost for this. Which then, do I protect my creature? Do I not protect my creature? It's a weird one. I almost side on the side of like, don't let them get lost my thing here. Which is weird because it's putting so much pressure on. I feel obligated to make sure it stays, right? But obviously, if they go for like Caretaker's Talent or land destruction, not land destruction, board destruction, we're obviously going to stagger it the best we can. Second or Rest Forge? Do I actually care? No, because I think I beat these, right? Like I beat both of these right now. I can also play this and make them pick them both up next turn. It's a lot of pressure, don't get me wrong. Like, it's 4 damage. I'm sending 4 damage back to them. I just think making sure that they don't actually resolve an important card matters much more. Temporary lockdown's not going to do it necessarily. Combat. I need one more land, so we want to dig as deep as possible for an untapped source. And we find it, and we find it 3 steps ahead. So what this will allow us to do is this will allow us to play this River Regent, make them pick both of these up, and then we can hold up our 2-mana counterspell that counters for 4 mana or more. So we'll see what happens. And if they try to do something here, we'll use 3 steps ahead. And the reason for that is because if we don't, we lose too much value on the back end. This is 6 damage. It's not like a little amount of damage either. So Helix has become a problem. So I go to 8. They'll need 3 Helixes. Chainsaw, enter, deal 3 damage to... Sure. That doesn't bother me. Does it bother me? If they try to torch, we'll counter with the 3 steps ahead. Dead. I will counter target spell. And now we'll crack them for 4. I'll rev up. Chainsaw, rev up. Might even just get them to concede right away, but I don't really know. It will say pick up and pick up. Then we'll move to combat for 4. And then we have our little counter spell here. And we should have this game locked up. Even if it's just a board wipe. Day of Judgment. Counter. We reveal. And that should do it. Should do it indeed. 1 stagger miss land from our Caretaker control deck. Ibiza gets us through. And we move on. Oh, my tap lands. Sure. We're on the play, so this seems a lot more keepable. We'll see if these are valuable or not. Sure. 3 steps ahead is going to have to be what grinds us out of this game. Mono black. Okay. Any type of discard's going to have to take these stock ups. I don't know what else they would take. I feel like it has to be stock up. You can take Get Lost, but that kind of surprises me, to be honest. We'll have to bend that now, because now we're in a situation of, like, an untapped land might be best. Just go ahead and stock up or something. 2. Nothing. Okay. There might be a slasher on the horizon, though. Or maybe they are going to play an Unholy Annex, which will force us to Get Lost it. Liliana also requires a Get Lost. There's a lot of things that I have to get lost. Be scared of a counter spell. Interesting enough. Sure. We're going to fire this off. No land in there? Oh, man. That's tough. I understand taking Chico's a little bit questionable, but I think it's important in this matchup overall to have Chico. And if they get 1 draw off an Unholy Annex, then sure, I guess. You know, it's just one of those things. That happens, and then I'll just have to remove it. Kind of predicted it was coming. There's a counter spell, so let's pop this, and then we'll hold up our little counter spell, and we'll miss a land dropped. We were 6 cards deep at this point. We missed a land. It is what it is. Not really a whole lot we can do. Shelly. Did I just get lost shielded? Probably not. Probably should just use my counterspell while it's valuable enough. And I'll show him Chico just because I can. I don't know why I showed Chico. I just did. I said, you know what? Screw it. I'll show him Chico. I don't care. I'll take the Corey because Corey can get us cards from exile and they can't interact with discard effects. Where like Liliana will be worst case scenario. Another Shieldred. We'll let that resolve. Hopefully they crack a map and then we get lost it again. They don't know about this get lost, I don't think. Not. Activate a map. Do it. Yeah, we're definitely not going to let a draw happen here if I can choose to do so. Land hits our hand. I could technically stock up here. I'm not sure if it's worth it. Well, we saw 3 steps ahead go to the bottom off of a stock up earlier. So that's 1. That's 2 counter spells. That's 3. So we only have 1 more like within our top vicinity anyway. So I could argue like go for Shiko, cast stock up that way. Our graveyard here. That might be worth it, but I might need Shiko for get lost cast on an Unholy Annex. We'll take this. Actually, an interesting choice. I think I'm taking this in the lockdown. The lockdown will have kind of more purpose as we move through this turn here, I think. Because if they play an Unholy Annex for full value just to make a big demon, our temporary lockdown can exile that demon and take all the maps with it. But we will see. Or maybe I just turn into the burn plan, right? Like, do I just start sending helixes and stuff upstairs? Maybe. Okay with that plan. That's what it comes down to. Counterspell here. Play this. Now I'll definitely pass. They can make a little dude if they want. And hit me for a ton with it. That's fine. Comparatively to what it could be. This is why I also argued for the Helix plan, because the more they activate this, the closer Helix will actually get. We have only used 1 so far, and there's none in here. But that's fine. Could technically wheel this now, but realistically, we're not going to hit the counter spell. We'll hit maybe our removal spell. But if they don't take temp lockdown, obviously we're going to absorb everything. If they do, like we can play Shiko and remove the Deep Cavern Bat. This obviously isn't just a straight discard effect. They do take temp lockdown. Okay. How much value are you going to get? Might wheel this Corey in response to a target here, though. If I do find removal, I'm going to be happy to hit it. Okay. Didn't leave up my white mana. It said, let's leave up the blue mana that'll do nothing. Sure. Like, okay. So, note to self. Monitor that. Monitor that real bad. All right. Well, so far every one of these maps has been a draw, 1 mana draw card, which is 3 mana draw 3. Like, don't get me wrong, they might be frustrated about that, but that's actually really good. Like, you spent 3 mana, drew 3 cards with no downside. That's just good, just good value. There's a flanker thing. We're gonna play a surveillance. Don't need any more land, please. My opponent knows what that's like. I almost want to Shiko and hit stock up. Let them... Dude, this game's actually trying to make me mad. They might have removal for this, but that's okay. Stop leaving this land open. I'm against mono black. They can't counter anything. Stock up it is. My opponent spent 3 mana to draw 6. Or 3. I'm spending 5 mana to potentially draw 2. I mean, put 2 in my hand. It's not a draw. Neither is a map technically, but yep. It's okay, opponent. You can remove my Shiko. That's gonna be good. Yeah, neither of these need to be a land. At this moment, I have 2 more to make. That's okay. I just don't know how we're gonna eventually get there. Sure. Good Day of Judgment. Reset. You only have 3 lands in hand, which are 3 lands and 3 mystery cards. So it's a bit interesting. ever get lost in case they go for Unholy Annex, because then we can play Shiko and then blow up the Unholy Annex so they only get one draw off of it. Aclazon didn't seem like the card that they picked there, and I drew the other region, which just Day of Judgment here. I know it's weird, but we'll clear the board, and if they want to sack this token, then be my guest. I weirdly think our plan is just Shiko burn. Shiko burn and then hope our regent hits for like a good bit, I guess. Now the fountain can't be used. They have a lot of mana. We kind of draw a card back. Do I play Shiko and go for that? No, I probably just flanker here now, right? Just like wait till they're in step and then cast this flanker. The other thing about this card, it can just be used as like an aggro piece in the matchup like this where it's slow and drug out. You can just like flash it in, use it, and they can also make a fish and do some stuff if they want. Lexington. I'm not gonna really worry about their graveyard at all. I don't think it matters. Ours does, but this is not. You gain 2 life, and then we're gonna scry 2. Remove it now. Get value off of a card like Cut Down. It has no value. Yeah. Every time. Every time. We're still gonna scry 2. No, and quite frankly, no. I think the lower amount of counter spells is actually coming up pretty relevant right now. There's a Helix. Yeah, I mean, I just think I'm on the burn plan at this point. So we have, what, 3, 6. Maybe Shiko lives. Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm going. And if they make a fish, they take more. This will drop them to 12. It's a very weird plan to do, but it's the plan I'm going with. Also makes their Unholy Annexes a bit more friendly to us if they don't have a thing to put in. I love the fact that Lightning Helix art changes as we go through these phases. Down to 12. There you go. Could also barrel one of these because I think this shuffles, right? Oh man, yeah, shuffle. It doesn't go like to the bottom. One of those things when you play Arena, it's kind of like, does that actually shuffle or no? It'll allow us to kind of move a lot of these cards around. Sure. Like our 3 steps ahead, kind of get it back to the forefront. 3 steps ahead with a regent in play is like a really good win condition. Because as long as we can counter a spell, then make a copy of our regent, we're looking really good. Duress. Sure. Duress doesn't really do much. I take the Helix. I might be afraid of it, but I doubt it. Got through all their extra land draws, though. Much that sucks for us. Sure. Now it's the argument, do we like wheel the region or do we just keep activating Quarry Mountain? It's just like whether or not I want the cards on the bottom. Be shuffled around so I can use them, and I think the answer is yes. Also puts us up an extra card. I'll get rid of... I don't think the Surveil Land matters this turn, so we'll get rid of the Surveil Land. Not the Surveil Land. Keep the Surveil Land. So that technically helps us look one deeper. I'll wait until after the Dragonstorm to play my Surveil Land. We'll just ditch the Verge. Okay, maybe I'll ditch one of the Surveil Lands. Alright. Get the lands out of the deck. Have a Helix. We're ready to go. Again, remember, temporary lockdown can absorb all these fish, so the more they make, the closer they get to our Lightning Helix lethal plan. As weird as that sounds. I hate that that's kind of our win condition right now, but it is what it is. One of the things when you play Control 2 that you kind of have to decide early Like, if you're gonna value using these lightning helixes towards your opponent's dome, like, you have to decide to do that. Okay. We just have to tap this literally every single time. It's gonna hold it no matter what. Parting Gust. Okay, it does literally nothing here. I guess I can use it to protect my region if they try to remove it here, actually. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to get to use this turn, so we'll do that. We'll enter, we'll bounce and bounce, and then we can Parting Gust it, flicker it. Then we'll get to pick up the Dragon Storm as well. 1 and 2. Also, you got to remember, if this makes contact, it just puts them like 1 hit away, kind of. And we have 2 more Shikos in the deck as well. 2 more Shikos and 2 more Lightning Helixes. No. 1 more Lightning Helix, yeah. Sure. Only going to respond to flicker this if they try to remove it with our Parting Gust. Let's just come back. If the gift wasn't part, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control counter at the beginning of the next end step. I honestly hope they go for some removal here. Oh, there's no pause here. Interesting. So we get to do something cool here. In turn, we're going to flicker this because we're already at the beginning of end step. This is going to come back on their end step now, I believe, unless I'm stupid. Yeah, so exile target non-token creature. If a gift wasn't promised, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control with the 1/1 counter on at the beginning of the next end step. So as Arena gave us a little bit of information. So if you notice, there was no pause. So that allows us to flicker it. And then whenever we get to their end step, we'll be putting this into play for free. And it also like makes their turns awkward. Because now, like, can they commit anything? If they didn't draw removal, which clearly they didn't have at the time, like, what's the plan there, right? So we put them in a tough spot. Hopefully we put them in a tough spot. No Liliana being played is kind of crazy. Did I summon her? I don't know. Comes in. We'll also bring our Dragonstorm back, which is kind of cool. A lot of cool stuff happening with this Parting Gust right now, which I arguably thought was just a purely dead hit. Submit 0. Still already going to return, so it doesn't really matter. Now we have a hit for 7 with a Helix, potentially. Unless there's a way that they can stop me here. To combat. 7. Yep. Makes contact. Do I just let them know? I can't think of a single card that would gain them life here, so. Yeah, we get there. Interesting game plan to take, but we end up coming away with the win. That's a cool kind of trick that we get to do, exiling it to their end step. But if they had removal, it like didn't do anything anyway. But the idea was they couldn't play anything either, because as soon as they play something in, this will at minimum re-enter the battlefield for 2 mana. And then bounce all their stuff back. So even if they play an Annex, even if they play like a Shieldred or whatever, at their end steps, it's going to enter and put it back in their hands so they have nothing going for them on that turn. And at best case scenario, they remove this, and we set them back and get a little bit of information on what's in their hand. But with that said, very cool. I think that's a good game to end it on. Okay, so here we are with the kind of final lineup on the list that we were playing today, where we actually kept the flankers in from last time, and then we have the temporary lockdown at 4 and a split up. I don't know, but one thing I will say, Parting Gust seems good and bad, as we obviously made like a fine play. I don't think that's a groundbreaking play that we made. Obviously, we can flicker like a Shiko or something with this card, and it does have a lot of cool capabilities, kind of like 3 Steps Ahead does, where like sometimes the best thing to do with this card is make a copy of your creature. So you can figure out like a win condition, right? Because it doesn't matter if it's legendary or not. It doesn't specify it has to be or it doesn't have to be. And these cards work very well with a card like the River Regent, which is pretty awesome. I do think one of the biggest helps in the deck is the Rolling Dragonstorm. This card that was actually clutch in a lot of spots. You don't necessarily care to discard that often because, you discard a Helix, you play it back with Chico, you discard a Flanker that's maybe dead in a matchup. When you play Chico later, you can bring it back. It's very cool. I do think having these flankers instead of, obviously Rest in Peace, there is the option to play, the Soul Guide Lantern and whatnot. But I enjoyed playing this because you also have the options still with these to then copy them later or flicker them and then on instep exile your opponent's graveyard again. So there's, a lot of cool plays with that, especially with Jeskai, Oculus, and things of that nature being super played right now. But outside of that, I don't think I want any more Beezas. I think 2 is fine for best of 1 specifically. I understand people go up to 4. A lot of people love this card, and I definitely get it. This card is very good. I just had a lot of times where it's somehow I always have more cards than my opponent because I am playing control. Very obvious plan that can happen. But then it's I didn't have anything to do with this. It was just all right, I'll spend 4 mana to play a 4/5. And at that point, I'm just wow, I'd like any other interaction, for the aggro deck that's beating me up or something. So 2 here. The only spot that was tough was the amount of counter spells. I felt a little soft. You had to be very careful with these, or you had to decide in that game if you were going to be very aggressive with them and try to resolve a big creature and go all the way with them. As you saw, we had a little too many counter spells in our hand, so we took the Biza route where we play Biza and we're you know what? They missed a land. We have a Biza in play. If it lives this turn, we have 2 counter spells. They're never going to really be able to interact with this all too well. So let's just play the Biza and try to protect it for the rest of this game and close it out. And then we raced arguably a hard card race in Urbrass Forge, but somehow control we did it. But with all that said, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.